allows for presets. Adobe on its own has presets that are built right in. So you can go in and tell it, it's kind of like a filter on Instagram, except you can tweak it after the fact. So presets are like really fancy filters. I use presets a lot because it just makes my life easier, but I always go in and tweak it because I'm picky and crazy. But you can order presets. Like I used to use presets from Etsy on my phone, on Lightroom, and for all the pictures of the city because I wanted them all to have that same look and feel, and it really makes for a cohesive brand. And so I wanted that for the city. And so I would literally download a preset, would pop it on my phone. Super easy. So I have lots of presets because I'm a weirdo, but we'll just look at some of these. They all kind of do different things, but let's start here and look at the ones that are built in. So Adobe will build in a natural lighting one, a bright light, a high contrast light, high contrast in details, make it really vivid, make it look matte and kind of flat. There's black and white presets. I actually really like their black and white punch. I think that one looks cool in some pictures. Sometimes I just use that. But there's one for landscapes. There's one for high contrast, like if you want a lot of pop in your image, like a really soft one. And there's the sepia tone that everybody loves. I don't like it. But you might. So there's an infrared looking one. So all of these just kind of, I think they give you a really nice starting point. So sometimes I go into an image and I'm like, hey, I love this. I know exactly what I want to do. I don't need a preset. I'm not going to mess with it. Like I'm going to just adjust things in my basics panel. I'm going to adjust the exposure. I'm going to adjust the temperature, the tint, the color, the contrast. I'm just going to tweak a few things and be done. But sometimes you go into an image and you're like, okay, I don't know what I want to do with it. I don't know what looks best. So let me play with some presets. So let's say we want to make her black and white. You can go in and click and it's done. Now, let's say I like this. This is a great start, but I don't like all this funky texture. So I could go in here. I could go to my details panel and I could actually reduce the noise a little bit and smooth out her skin. Y'all see that? Okay. Some of the presets I like to use. This one's called Messy Hair and Dirty Boots, which cracks me up. But it has all these different tones. So you can buy Messy Hair and Dirty Boots and then change the tone. So that's 1, that's 2. See the little tweaks that are happening? That's more of a green tint. Every picture and every lighting situation may look a little different. So a lot of these preset packages will give you options because they don't know if you're going to be shooting in bright light and dark light with certain tones. And so it gives you an overall like cohesiveness without you having to remember your settings from session to session. So for me, let's use this one. I don't know that this has ever been messed with. I think this is just how it was shot in the camera. So you can actually come in here and go, okay, I really want it to look kind of funky and cool and dark and moody. So these are called small. I don't know. That's just the name of them. I use small 8 a lot. Small adds grain to your picture. They're supposed to be like to mimic film. And so if you don't like that, you can actually come in here. I usually come in and remove all the grain because I think it looks like I don't know what I'm doing and I don't like it. So see how that totally takes the grain away and smooths out their skin. But you could go in and say, okay, I like that. That's a great starting point, but I really want it to be a little darker, a little moodier. And I really don't like any of the highlights. So I want to take those highlights away. Their dresses are bright. I kind of want to remove that. I kind of want to take the black, like make it a little more black, like bring those blacks out, make the back look, see how the back kind of got a little darker when I did that. And then I really want to like make them pop. So I'm going to bring up that clarity. So I may say, I love that, I'm done. And so presets are a nice way to kind of get you started. The nice thing about Lightroom is, let's say I love this photo, but I also want to do it in black and white and deliver it to the bride in both ways. I can go in and say, okay, there's the picture in color, there's the picture in black and white. It's really grainy. I'm going to remove the grain, and I'm good to go. Then the beauty of this is you can highlight them and say export, and you can export them to a place on your computer. You can pick your file type. So this DNG is a raw image, so if you want to give it to, like, let's say I'm going to edit some images and give them to you, and you're going to edit them more, then you want to give a raw file type. Usually it's a JPEG. Usually you want to give a full size, but remember we've talked about web and have the images a little smaller. So if you know they're going to go on the web, you can make them small. You can export, and it'll send them off. You can tell it where to save it. It'll save it. It'll export it. Then you can send them to wherever you want to. So that's presets. Presets are awesome.